Senators on both sides of the aisle criticizing President Trump's move to fire more than a dozen inspectors general late Friday night. A new federal law that was enacted after Mr. Trump carried out a similar purge at the beginning of his first term requires the White House to provide a rationale for firing any inspector general and give 30 days notice. But neither of those things happened here. And a number of Republicans like Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Chuck Grassley have all expressed concerns, questions over how this played out. Lucy Lang is the Inspector General for the state of New York. She is joining us now. Lucy, thanks so much for being here with us. This is the work you do. You know what it's like to be an Inspector General, what role that person has to play. What do these moves say to you?
Thank you so much for having me on, Jessica, to talk about this critically important issue. Inspectors General are the nonpartisan, independent government watchdogs who do the important work of investigating corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse across government. And this move not only violates the law, but really flouts democratic norms in a way that is likely to continue to undermine public trust at a time when it is at record lows.
And I want to play a clip from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. He said this earlier today here on CNN. This is his response when he was asked if it bothered him that the president had broken this law that requires notice to Congress. Let's listen.
Yeah, I think, he should have done that. But the question is it okay for him to put people in place that he thinks can carry out his agenda? Yeah. He won the election. What do you expect him to do? Just leave everybody in place in Washington before he got elected? This makes perfect sense to me. Get new people. He feels like the government hasn't worked very well for the American people. These watchdog folks did a pretty lousy job. He wants some new eyes on Washington, and that makes sense to me.
Just what's your response, first of all?
Of course, most political appointees do turn over in a new administration, but inspectors general are different, and they have to be, because their job is to consistently make sure that government is operating properly, and that has to be done in a nonpartisan way. In fact, contrary to what the senator said, they should not be enacting anyone's agenda. Inspectors general job is to make sure that government is free from corruption and fraud, and by putting in people who are tasked with executing some sort of agenda, that core function of IGs is undermined.
And just to underscore for everybody out there, these IGs, people like yourself, and you work independent of everybody else.
That's right. There are 74 federal IGs, but there are also myriad IGs who work for states, municipalities, even something like the MTA has its own inspector general. And there are various kinds of protections to make sure that those IGs are able to do their job independently. For example, while I'm appointed by the governor of New York State, she's not able to fire me. I serve for the duration of her term because I have to be free to investigate the executive branch with which I'm charged of overseeing.
Yeah, and I think too when we're listening to Senator Graham there, look, there is a law in place, as we said at the top of this interview, for this exact situation that the Senate did put into place after Trump's first term. And it's not that he can't do this. It's just that there are steps that should be taken.
That's right. It has to be given to Congress with 30 days notice, and there has to be a substantive rationale, including detailed and case-specific examples. It has, in fact, happened in the past. The last administration did fire an IG on the grounds that there had been an investigation that IG was creating a toxic workplace, and 30 days notice was given. The cases were detailed, and that inspector general was removed. So here, these letters were issued to at least 12 IGs on Friday night, and they simply said that there were changing priorities and their positions were terminated immediately. It completely goes against the protections that have been put in place for these vital public servants who are making sure that our taxpayer dollars are being properly spent. Over the past several years, federal inspectors general alone have saved the taxpayer over $93 billion. We are really necessary to watching government, and our work has to be conducted in an independent and nonpartisan way.
All right, New York State Inspector General Lucy Lang, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. And New Yorkers who suspect fraud or corruption can reach us at 1-800-DO-RIGHT.
All right. Thanks so much. Still ahead, accident or sabotage. Investigators trying to crack